And lights out, away we go. Got a boatload of wheel spin, and in third and fourth gear managed to gather it up using our ERS to just drag ourselves down, ascending down the inside at the very first corner. Albon gets mega speed from our slipstream, gets alongside us down the inside. I dart down the inside as well. I'm not going to take this one lying down, you know. I don't care if your car is faster than me. I'm going to put up a fight as we go way too deep into the first corner. Hamilton takes advantage of that. Hello everyone, welcome back to F1 22. Back again with another episode of the My Team Career. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and if you haven't seen the previous episode, I will link the playlist down below. Do go check it out. We had our very first sprint race weekend in Imola. Overall, not a bad day at the office. Could have been better. Had a couple of good battles here and there. Got a little bit argy-bargy in the actual Grand Prix. The sprint, we just absolutely sent it down the inside with Max Verstappen at one point. So it's overall pretty exciting. Grand Prix halfway through it did turn into a bit of a train, but nonetheless, hope you guys will enjoy it. So do go check that out. But today we're back and we're heading off into our next Grand Prix. So if you do enjoy this sort of content, please do hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing. I would very much appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. And with all that said and done, let's jump into it. All right, so here we go. In our team headquarters. I keep calling this the My Team Career dashboard, but it's really, I guess it's really referred to as the team headquarters. So here we are, and real quick, let's just have a look. Just want to run you guys through the standings. Here we go. This is where we are at the moment. 4th in the Drivers' Championship and 4th in the Constructors' standings as well. And have a quick look at our season results. I believe in Episode 3, I think it was, I made the mistake of saying that I finished second in Bahrain actually, but I was wrong because I was caught off by that purple color. That's actually the finishing position for Carlos Sainz in Bahrain. He finished second, and that purple denotes he got the fastest lap as well. But as you can see for us, Bahrain, we finished 4th, Saudi Arabia 7th, and Australia 3rd. And Imola 5th. So that was our last Grand Prix. And Jeddah and Albert Park, we got both of them we finished with the fastest lap. So that was pretty epic. So far it's been okay, you know, we've been doing all right. Our results haven't been too bad overall. Now definitely it's gonna start getting real interesting. As you guys can see, the gearbox, our gearbox is really something of concern right now. 66% worn out, and yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how this is gonna pan out heading into the next Grand Prix. I still haven't looked at upgrading any of our facilities yet. This is something we will have to look at as we move forward. But at the moment, let's just have a quick look at our activities. As you guys can see, our next Grand Prix is in Miami, over in the States. So I'm pretty excited for that. But real quick, let's have a look at the activities. We always gotta remember to add the activities. I keep forgetting time to time, so I gotta make sure that I have those activities down pat. And let's have a quick look and see what we can add to our timeline leading up to the Grand Prix. Okay, so I'm thinking we should probably do a little bit of durability department focus. Obviously, one of our main components, that being the gearbox, has taken on a little bit more wear than I was expecting, and we're only leading into our 5th Grand Prix, and already 60 plus% has been used up off that first gearbox. So I think we should focus on that, get some resource points as well, plus 5% on the durability. We will lose department morale across the board along our other departments, so hopefully we can counteract that somehow with some other activities. Let's see what we can do. And got chassis team building. Yeah, so maybe we can counteract that with some chassis equipment upgrade. Let's add that in as well. And then one final one. Let's see what we can do. Well, I mean, we can always do with a bit of cash, especially because we're looking at, eventually upgrading our departments and our facilities. So Let's go ahead with second driver PR film in to fill out our timetable here. We get plus 20 cash and plus 500 claim points towards ourselves. I think that should do us for now. So let's just have a quick look. What else do we have to do? Got our R&D thing happening in the background. There you go. We have our upgrades unlocked, over wheel winglets, and we have also, well, that's the upgrade that got completed, and we have unlocked the front nose upgrade. So that's awesome. What we might do is actually we'll lock in the status powertrain upgrade. That is to do with the energy recovery system. So let's go ahead. 40% chance of failing, so this is going to be real interesting. I guess we'll have to take a gamble with this and see how it goes. Standard, hopefully be finished by the 15th of May before the Spanish Grand Prix. Looking at our timeline over there, so that's good. What else can we do? Let's just go with the beam wing. I believe that was the one that was unlocked first. So again, at a standard development rate, it'll be ready on the 15th of May. 40% chance of failing again, but hopefully it'll come out all right. So I think that's pretty much all that we'll worry about and focus on in terms of R&D. And yeah, one other thing that we have to probably look at is adding to our livery. So let's actually have a quick look here. Sponsor decals, that is what we need to do. So we currently have Echo, they're our main sponsor. Let's have a look and add our next sponsor. Now, I did look online. I mentioned this in the previous video in regards to, you know, save games getting corrupted. I had a look online. There is no reports of it happening in F1 22 where a save file will get corrupted if you edit the you know, the livery in your My Sim career. So hopefully it'll be okay. Let's just have a look. Where can we put this? Let's put it on our air intake, shall we? Right there. And I think that should do us just fine. We will hopefully, you know, keep adding to this as we progress along. Look at that. We can maybe even change our personal sticker. No, but I like it. I like the engineered insanity sticker. We'll stick with that. We could obviously stick, you know, multiple stickers of the same sponsor across all the different areas of the car. But, you know, I want to add other sponsors to all those different areas of the car, not just have the two sponsors splattered throughout the entire car itself. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I think we're ready to advance time and head on over to our next Grand Prix.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Alright, so yeah, I lost my audio when I was recording this bit, and yeah, so just doing a bit of voiceover. Unfortunately, looks like, yeah, we failed our development for this weekend, and yeah, the development package failed, as you can see. Durability parts with our ICE turbo, and as well as the chassis with the rear floor under tray also failed. There you can see it. I cannot believe this has happened, but anyways, we will lock them back in for development. Obviously 0% chance of failing when you put in for something to be developed a second time, but definitely this is definitely a time when we need to start thinking about upgrading our facilities. I also did go ahead and up the difficulty, as you can see, up to 65. I was at 55 and I increased it by 10. Hopefully it'll give us a little bit more of a challenge as we jump into now this department meeting where we have to decide whether we're going to upgrade the facilities in our aero department. I believe this is different from the regular upgrades to the facilities, so I went ahead and agreed always best to, you know, make it a better working environment for our staff. As we also fast forward through, I decided to actually look into possibly, you know, upgrading our facilities, and I'm just going through each department, really just trying to figure out exactly what would be the best department to look at, and you know, going through all the upgrades as well, just seeing what would we need to focus on really. And looking at it, most of the parts, you know, we have a fair amount of durability, powertrain, and a couple of aero parts added and installed, but we only have one chassis component. So I decided let's go ahead and upgrade the quality control in our chassis department. We're still spec 0, but hopefully now the overall failure chance will be decreased for our chassis components. So that's pretty good. And yeah, let's go ahead, fast forward time and on to the next item, which is a Pirelli Hot Lap. So it looks like, you know, we've had quite a number of Pirelli Hot Laps over the last few Grand Prix weekends, and this time we have the option between the autocross and the time attack. I think what we might actually do is the autocross. So let's go ahead and select that and see what it's all about. Alright, so here we go, the autocross challenge. 49 gates in the McLaren Artura, and with a gold finishing point of 1 minute and 25 seconds, netting us 1,000 acclaim points and $100,000 in cash. So this is going to be very interesting. Navigate through some carefully placed cones as quickly as possible in this agility challenge. Take care to avoid hitting or missing the cone gates, however, as these will incur time penalties. Pretty straightforward. I've never done the autocross challenge before, so this is going to be very interesting, and I really hope this audio is being captured. I'm really having absolute grief with my audio solution at the moment, so it's really doing my head in, and yeah, I really hope this works. Let's get stuck into it. Continue. Here we go. Rev it up. 4 lights, 5 lights. Here we go. Come on, and away we go. Okay. Seems simple enough. Oh, okay. Got to be very careful with the throttle, because yeah, the supercars are very much tail happy, and got to remember that they don't handle as you know, quickly as Formula 1 cars. Okay, so far so good. Okay, coming up to the hairpin. Oh. Okay, so far okay. Oh, this is a... Oh, I went into neutral. My bad. Okay, I feel like I could be going faster, but I'm not. Oh, we hit a gate. No, that's not good. That's not good at all. That first gear. I really think I could do this faster. Oh, we're gonna miss this one. And I hit that gate as well. Alright, now pedal to the floor, Jace. Go, 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 go. 5th gear. 6th gear. Oh, missed it. I missed it. I missed the gate. Went into neutral. I think we might have to settle for a bronze on this one. That's okay. What can you do? And across the line. It's getting a little bit too keen on the throttle application. Damn, that's all right. Well, what can you do? Here you go. 142, basically a 143, but we netted a bronze. $25,000 cash. Can't complain about that. And yeah, let's go ahead, jump over and start off our Grand Prix race weekend. All right, so qualifying, one-shot qualifying. Here we are. No sprint race weekend like we've had, I believe, the past 2 race weekends, the past 2 Grand Prix we've had, you know, two sprint race weekends, I believe, back to back, if I remember correctly. But that isn't to say it isn't going to be interesting, or exciting rather, because as you guys can see, the conditions on track are really wet. So this is going to be really interesting. Actually, looking at the weather forecast, it's going to be really wet for qualifying, but race conditions are going to be dry. So this is going to make it really interesting because, I mean, again, if I remember correctly, it's parc fermé rules. So whatever we go out with for our qualifying in terms of our setup is just going to be locked in completely for the race as well. We won't be able to change much except for, I think, front wing, a little bit of differential. So, you know, I want to make sure that the setup, you know, and this, you know, I'm not that much of an expert either. So this is going to be really interesting as to exactly how we set this car up and make sure that we don't really disadvantage ourselves going into the race by turning something up or turning something down too far to the point where it's just going to make the car unusable or uncompetitive in the race. And actually, in free practice, you know, did all the practice programs, and considering that we did turn up the difficulty from 55 to 65, it's definitely made me feel slower. You know, we finished in sort of the top 10, top 11. Actually, we finished, I think, around P11, P10 in the practice sessions, you know, whilst doing the practice programs. And yeah, I feel like maybe I might have gone a little bit too far with, you know, up in the difficulty. But then again, I could just be slow. This is a track that I haven't really driven that much. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we go. As you can see, maybe I don't know, the car just feels really skittish, particularly, I think it's turn 2. If you grab that inside curb, it's absolutely deadly. You just spin the car out. So I'm thinking, just to give us a bit of leeway, I'm gonna try and keep it balanced and keep the on throttle differential low, and basically try and just minimize that wheel spin. I think that's basically all we can sort of change. I think we'll go with that. Hopefully we don't disadvantage ourselves on the actual race day. So let's see how it goes. And not keeping in tradition, like literally not keeping in with FIA tradition, to be exact, I'm actually going to go ahead and choose the wet tires, because, you know, they exist for a reason, and it looks like it's actually pouring down like stupidly. So we will have to see what exactly happens. It says the intermediate is 2.1 seconds faster, but I don't know if that's it looks really wet out there, you know. So let's see how we go. We're gonna stick with the wet tire. This may not be a very good lap. So yeah, let's go for it. There's nothing much we can really do. Wow!
Big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
My gosh, it is wow. A 1 minute 46. We are so off the pace. Oh my gosh. Hang on a sec. We got to try this again. Surely there's some, we can find some tenths somewhere. Okay. All right. So just going to give this one more try, and we'll see how we go. We're going to try this again just with the intermediate tires, and we'll see if we can get a better result. If not, then I think we're just totally screwed. Completely screwed. And there's nothing really we can do about it. So let's see how we go. Here we go. Take 2. Much better. Alright, I think this time around not too bad. P10 currently. P13, P14 just falling down the order. Trying to catch up to Leclerc. Currently P10. I think this is much better. I didn't realize that there was that much of a difference. Wow. That much of a difference between the wets and the intermediates. Look at that. We've already made up almost 10 positions. We are falling down the order still. P13 now, but compared to P22... that's insane. P14. Oh, can we catch up to Leclerc's ghost? Come on. P10. Just trying to short shift the entire way. P11. Wow, we did way better this time. Absolutely annihilated half the field. Okay, that's really interesting as to the speed differential there between the wet. Oh, went way too deep there. Oh, getting very squirrely coming out of the corner. P18, this might not do any better. Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Okay. I think we'll settle for that. Clearly, there is a massive speed differential between the wets and the intermediates. That's insane. Wow. Fair enough. Okay.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Sainz, Hamilton, and Sergio Perez. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
This is much more like it. With the wet tire, we were at 1 minute 46, and the car just felt like it was on skates. Oh my gosh, felt like the entire track was made out of ice, and now, second time around, we're pretty much on par with most of the midfield, you know, for the most part. The lower end of the midfield. Yeah. Especially considering that we were P22, but 6 seconds slower than our teammate as well, if I remember correctly. So, oh my gosh. All right. that was quite the experience, and a humbling experience, that's for sure. But hopefully, I don't regret now turning up the difficulty, because, you know, we seem to be on pace with the AI. So going into the race, hopefully it'll be interesting. So I will see you guys on the grid. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Miami International Autodrome, home of the Miami Grand Prix. This exciting track circumnavigates the Hard Rock Stadium, home to the National Football League outfit, the Miami Dolphins. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, George Russell and Leclerc, Norris, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon, Magnussen, Bottas, Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Joe, Alex Albon, the owner driver, Stroll, Vettel, Boschung and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Alright, so here we go. Lined up on the grid. Just going through our setup, increasing the on-throttle differential, basically, just to give a little bit more of traction. Obviously, parc fermé rules, nothing else can be really changed all that much. And as always, we start off with our formation lap, as we have included that in this series. I really enjoy having the formation lap. It, you know, it adds that extra bit of immersiveness, so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's really, you know, you get to live out your fantasy of being a Formula 1 driver. And you know, when you watch the Grand Prix, seeing the formation lap is really awesome, particularly when the drivers are lighted up, where they just light up the tires at the very last moment like that. And everyone now lighted up on the grid, getting ready for the start. And here we go. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and Lights out, away we go. Got a boatload of wheel spin, and in third and fourth gear managed to gather it up using our ERS to just drag ourselves down, ascending down the inside at the very first corner. Managed to not really crash into anyone and, you know, slot in behind Gasly, and we've got Tsunoda right on our chuff as well. This really isn't over yet, and yeah, what a crazy start as we fast forward further up in lap 1. Tsunoda sends it down the inside of both me and Gasly, but Gasly manages to muscle his way muscle his way around Tsunoda and sort of get his arms out as we make it around Tsunoda, but no, we get an illegal overtake warning, so we had to relegate that position back to Tsunoda as we try and chase him down now using that ERS and try to get into a slipstream and drag ourselves forward. And for a moment there we were, and then I just let go of the ERS, and now Albon gets mega speed from our slipstream, gets alongside us down the inside. I dart down the inside as well for the switchback, sending down the inside into the very last corner basically. Managed to get past Tsunoda, but it's not over. Albon's right behind us. He manages to get the switchback on us, and now Tsunoda's coming up alongside us, sends it down the inside. That's the end of our first lap, but now we're just chasing Tsunoda. Albon's still hanging in there. It's getting real spicy now here at the tail end of the grid as we basically just hounding Tsunoda, take him through the outside of this chicane, managed to stick the move through. Absolutely crazy start to this Grand Prix as it gets real squirrely coming out of that corner. This car is just so skittish. I don't know what it is. As we skip forward to lap 3 now, getting close to Bottas and Gasly. They're dueling away, and yeah, just the entire Grand Prix, I just kept thinking to myself, is it the difficulty? Is it why I am struggling? But I was also thinking perhaps it's the fact that our car isn't as developed compared to the other teams on the grid as we get real close to Bottas here, coming out of the very last corner basically. Again, getting very squirrely. I don't know why this car is just so skittish as we fast forward lap 4, again still behind Bottas, but then I just decide to send it down the inside, get our elbows out, and somehow get the move done. But it's not over. You can see the shadow of Bottas there as he's still hanging in there on the inside now. As he gets back onto the racing line, we try and get into a slipstream, then we dart out to the right hand side, down the inside again. Bashed him into his side pods. At this point we get a little bit of front wing damage, and you could have seen there as well our tire degradation is is up there. As we fast forward to lap 6, Bottas manages to get in front of us, but there you go, behind us also now is Hamilton with the fastest lap as he gets absolute crazy speed off our slipstream down the outside, and we try and slot him behind him and then send it back down the inside. For some reason I was just fighting Hamilton, even though really we're not racing him, because I'm pretty sure he had already pit, so he's not really someone we're meant to be racing. But you know, I'm not gonna take this one lying down. You know, I don't care if your car is faster than me. I'm gonna put up a fight as we go way too deep into the first corner. Hamilton takes advantage of that and gets the move done on us, and he moves up into P8. Fast forward lap 7, we're in P9, and finally we pull into the pits. So we went 2 laps extra than we needed to. As you can see, 53, 57, 59, basically 50+% on all our soft tires, way more than we needed to go, and we tumble down the order as well as we pull into the pits. Nail the pit stop between 2.2 to 2.5 seconds, and now it's a race out of the pit lane to make sure we get in front of Vettel. As you can see, he's P17. And just as we exit the pit lane, you'll see off the corner of our rearview mirror, there is Vettel, and he looks fast. He is in hunt mode as we try to get some temperature into our tires. These tires, just much like the actual in real life regulations, are much colder than they were in previous games, which is, you know, due to the tire blanket temperatures being lower this year. So as you can see, still in the 70s range, trying to get it up into the 80 and 90 range as we fast forward lap 8. There's Vettel getting speed off our slipstream. We managed to slot in behind him. It's not over. We're trying to get a little bit too close, bump him a little bit, and trying to tiptoe around that corner because I'm always getting loose coming out of that particular hairpin-ish corner. As we try to now just chase Vettel down into the first corner. Went a little bit too deep. It's getting real crazy this race, and you know, we did start P18, we're currently P17, and so far not looking the best. Again, I'm thinking maybe it's because our car isn't as developed compared to the other teams. Again, we did fail our developments for this particular race weekend. As we fast forward lap 9, getting real close to Vettel now in this sort of main straight, and we set it down the inside and managed to stick the move, but it's not over. Vettel is really hot on our heels. This section of track, I'm just basically tiptoeing because the car just feels like it's on ice at this point. I don't know why, but the entire weekend, including qualifying, which was, you know, wet as it is, the car just felt so slidey. And you know, down this back straight, you can see the speed that Vettel has, that he's getting on from our slipstream, gets right up our exhaust pipe and gives us a little bit of a bump, I believe, as well. But we managed to defend off that attack as we come around this final set of corners across the finish line to start lap 10. And now Vettel's still not over as he sort of darts off to the outside, just has a bit of a look, but we managed to hold the inside line and get a little bit squirrely coming out of the first corner. And Vettel almost had to go there as well, but then he backed out, and now it's just trying to catch up to Bottas and Gasly all over again. Currently P15, starting lap 11. Vettel still hanging with us just there in our rearview mirror. We can just see him there, just trying to claw his way back. And yeah, it was I don't know whether, you know, maybe I need to turn up the difficulty, or sorry, rather turn down the difficulty, because I did do a little bit of experimentation. And yeah,
Gasly's slow, I believe, actually. That's right, yeah, Gasly's slow because he has a mechanical fault or something going on with him. There's Bottas darting off to the left-hand side and sending it down the inside of Gasly. Got a front row seat to this battle as we're struggling with our own gearbox.
And struggling indeed. I kept looking over at our gearbox, you know, telemetry or whatever it is, you know, the component wear screen, just to see where we were with the gearbox wear. Purely because I was so afraid that we were going to have to retire with the gearbox failure. But as you can see, Bottas managing to make it past Gasly. Now we're just chasing him because Gasly has suffered a mechanical fault of sorts, so he's running slow as we managed to send it down the inside, get past him. But it wasn't really over because for an apparently, you know, injured car that Gasly had, he was hanging with us for quite a bit for this next couple of laps. Especially you see it along this straight section, he's just hanging with us, managing somehow to get speed even without our slipstream. Has a look down the outside, but we managed to defend, get a little bit squirrely. Yeah, again, this car was just very skittish the entire time. And especially coming through this, you know, chicane, it just gets so squirrely, and I'm trying to manage, you know, the shifts here, trying to quick shift, and all the time, as you can see, 76% wear on the gearbox as we fast forward across the line to start our final lap. And yeah, basically trying to reflect on the last 13 or so laps of just pure chaos, considering that we started P18, not our best start so far this season. That craziness. And yeah, I'm wondering whether our pace is maybe either the difficulty that I've turned up to 65 now, or whether it's our car is not developed enough, you know, or whether it's the gearbox. Yeah, it's at 77%. It just ticked over, as you can see. It's getting so close, and I was so afraid that we were going to have to retire with a gearbox failure. I was very much anxious this entire final lap, and yeah, part of the reason that I actually stayed out 2 more laps than I needed to on those soft tires was because I was hoping for some sort of safety car just so that we could try and crawl our way back through the pack. But fast forward, end of our final lap and coming across the finish line to finish P14. Pretty disappointed overall, but I think it's just a bit of fine tuning that we need to do to obviously the car. We need to develop the car, but we did get driver of the day, which really surprised me. I was really gobsmacked that we got driver of the day. But overall, the team of the day, Ferrari. Well deserved, smooth operator. We rarely see him on the podium. Good on Team Red.
Combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. Let's have a look then at the driver's standings. Carlos Sainz manages to take control of the championship, securing the top spot with today's points. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I'm going to give it to the owner-driver today. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Thank you very much, Crofty, and there you go. That's the finishing order. We started P18, finished P14, made up 4 spots. Our best time was a 1:34, so 3 seconds off Carlos Sainz in their 1:31s. That is insane. Maybe we need to turn down the difficulty just a tad. I don't know. I don't mind being at the back of the field, but I wasn't expecting to be this far back in the field. And yeah, probably not our best race thus far. And yeah, let's have a look at the standings. Here's the Drivers' Championship. We have dropped down from 4th to 5th, but there's only 3 points separating us and Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc is right there as well. Not too far off, but overall pretty spicy. Let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. We've maintained our position, which is awesome. McLaren has moved up, overtaken Alpine, but still quite a deficit between us and McLaren. So I'm thinking actually, as we progress maybe to the next episode, I will turn down the difficulty ever so slightly, or maybe I will experiment off screen, do some AI races just outside of this, and just see which difficulty level provides the best sense of challenge and enjoyment at the same time. Because yeah, I'm not expecting, nor did I ever aim with this series to be fighting with the top teams like Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, but rather, you know, battling it out with the midfield, because that's really where a lot of the action has been over the past few years. So yeah, we'll figure that out as we move forward. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, if you enjoy this sort of content, please do hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, do consider subscribing. And please leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on this series and your experience playing the My Team career. Any tips and tricks that you may have, drop them down below in the comment section. I very much appreciate it. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. I definitely appreciate it. And with that, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you guys in the next video.